This is Neil Schneider for MTBS-TV. I'm at the Panasonic booth at CES 2011. To my left is Masa Fukata, Marketing Manager for Panasonic, and to his left is Ian Kilvert, General Manager for Panasonic Canada. They're both here to tell us about the latest developments that Panasonic announced here at CES 2011. Thanks for joining us, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Now, Masa, I'm going to start with yourself because I understand Panasonic has made a lot of improvements to its televisions in the 3D area. Now, last year, I own a unit myself. I know that Panasonic has done very well with the plasma units. They've been very well rated when it comes to crosstalk. That there's a little crosstalk or bleed through between the left and right images. However, it's had some criticisms when it comes to power consumption and brightness. So maybe you could elaborate a bit on what the new offerings are within Panasonic and some improvements that you've made.
So we have committed to the 3D technology since we introduced 3D TV a few years ago in the trade shows around the world. We have improved so much, especially in terms of the picture quality and the power consumptions, as well as the usabilities. So we have lineup for 2011 was the Vierra 3D TV. We expanded the lineup from S3s to the ST3s to the VT3s. So we have also used the improved phosphorus materials for the plasma TV, so you can have the very fast movement and the picture quality. So it's improved so much in the contrast and the moving picture resolutions and also the power consumption as well. We changed the way we use the phosphorus, so we have dramatically reduced the power consumption of PDP.
Maybe you could put some numbers to it. So as far as the variety of 3D?
I don't think we have numbers.
Okay, you don't have numbers yet.
Last year we have we reduced 1/3, 30% of energy consumption by PDP. So we don't have the comparable numbers because we expanded the 3D lineup.
Okay, that's fine. So as far as the 3D lineup is concerned, how many different models would you estimate are going to be 3D compliant in 2011?
Okay, we are going to introduce six different sizes of 3D TV plus two sizes in LCD, from 32, 37 in LCD, and 42, 46, 50, 55, 60, 65 inch in 3D TVs.
So there's a lot of variety there.
And also we expanded to almost all the PDP lineup is 3D compatible. So it's going to be very much larger lineup for 2011.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is the power consumption for the plasma division at least is going to be significantly reduced. Well, actually, I was at the press conference just the other day, and they mentioned something to the effect of like 30% brighter for the new plasma unit.
That's the same thing we were talking about. When we reduce the same brightness, when we reduce the power energy consumption with the same brightness, meaning that we can improve the brightness with the same power consumption, right?
Excellent. Now we're going to get pictures of this later, but are the glasses changing at all with the television? Is the style remaining the same? Are you doing any new changes in the new year?
We haven't really brought the new 3D glasses yet, but we are planning to do something else.
Okay, excellent. Now let's talk a bit about the content side and how consumers fit into this as well. What content has Panasonic been developing recently?
Sure. Well, it started with tennis, the French Open tennis in May. That was broadcast with Panasonic equipment, and they've been involved in the U.S. with the U.S. Open tennis, and there was some baseball as well. So the All-Star game in baseball was also filmed in 3D this year. So it's slowly evolving. We know that is one of the main reasons why some people may be holding back, because they want more content. We're working with the CBC in Canada, with Hockey Night in Canada, to help produce two games in 3D. The first one was in December. The second game will be the outdoor game in Calgary on February the 20th, the Heritage Classic. So we're really looking forward to that. I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
And are there any lessons learned from the content development? I mean, you were really down in the trenches when it came to Hockey Night in Canada, and it was really a proud moment of Canadian history, I'll tell you that. But maybe there were some lessons learned that we'll start seeing enacted in future revisions.
Absolutely. I think that there are some restrictions in working inside of a current hockey arena. It's not set up to film in 3D very easily. I think the owners of the arenas don't want to take seats out because that's a lot of revenue for them. Those are usually the most expensive seats. But I think as we move forward, you'll see that new arenas will start to configure themselves differently to allow for those big 3D rigs to be in certain areas like the corners or behind the nets. So they'll put the seats around them. What will be interesting, though, in Calgary during the Heritage Classic is that because it's being filmed or staged in McMahon Stadium where they play football, pretty much you can put the cameras anywhere you want because they will build the seats around the cameras. So it will allow CBC to put them in areas where they couldn't put them in at Maple Leaf, at the Air Canada Centre because just was getting in the way of people's expensive seats.
So I'll explain this a little bit for our audience. During the shooting of the hockey games, sometimes the beams of the barriers would get in the way, and even though it's, for the players and watching the game, it's a very natural 3D experience, sometimes these barriers get in the way of a good shot in 3D, and it can make things look a little off. So these are efforts being taken to overcome this, so future content will be more seamless.
That's right. Well, the stanchions that keep the sections of plexiglass together, certainly when a 3D camera pans across and you see that, it looks like it's right in front of your eyes. It's a bit alarming to see it, and it happens so quickly. But I think that with future broadcasts, they realize that there are some limitations and they just need to try to avoid some of those things. I think that, for instance, the Winter Classic that was just filmed a week ago, the NHL was looking at putting some robotic cameras on top of the plexiglass. I mean, they're looking at other ways to get around it so that you don't have to, but they did have them in the corners. They had them really low. They had, I think they must have cut out some area of the boards and put plexiglass in front, so they had a camera that looked like it was almost at ice level, which was quite remarkable. So, I guess it's just a matter of time and money to make this even better for 3D for the future. But you're right, there are some limitations. There are things that the director and the producers have to work around. But I think the second game in February is going to be excellent.
Excellent.
So also the different sports need different shooting techniques. So we are in the learning curve. So since we have sponsored the Olympic Games, so we have opportunity to try already a lot of different sports in 3D. Especially we have a big challenge in the sports in a larger field, like football and American football, but we still have a chance to learn and also try a lot of different things.
Well, let's talk about a different market. We've been talking a bit about sports programming. Cinema we're very familiar with. What about gaming? Now, we know about playing games with console and with HDMI 1.4. I take it works with your new model panels as it did before. But you also have a Vierra Cast service to your televisions. Maybe you could elaborate as to what Vierra Cast is and how this could appeal to gamers as well.
Okay, first of all, we are going to rename the Vierra Cast with a new name called the Vierra Connect, because we are changing the lots of different contents, focusing on more cloud-style services. We can save your personal data into the server, and you can also see the same data from PC to the also the Vierra TVs. And then we're also introducing new contents like communication, like Skype, as well as the game this time. So we are going to launch the new service called which is casual gaming as well. So we will have different kinds of games, that you can enjoy on TVs.
I saw at your press conference you're doing work with a company I believe called Gameloft. Am I correct?
So we're, as I mentioned, that we are committed to the 3D, including sports and movies, and the third content should be the gaming. So we like to showcase some of the 3D gaming opportunity with the IP connections as well as the collaboration with game companies.
Excellent, excellent. So one more set of questions for you. We've been talking about, video games, obviously sports and programming, broadcast. What about at the consumer end for actually creating 3D content of their own? So what offerings do you have, for cameras? So maybe you could talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we have introduced the 3D camcorders last fall, which has the 3D camcorder parts with the 3D focusing lenses. As well as that, we also focusing on the photos in 3D. We launched the 3D lenses for the Lumix cameras, which you enable to shoot your personal 3D films and also movies. And then 2011 Vierra also they accommodate the 3D memory card with the 3D contents inside, so you can enjoy your personal video and photos in HDTV as well.
Excellent.
They're actually showing 5 separate 3D camcorders here at the show. I'm not sure if all 5 will come into Canada, but they definitely will be expanding the lineup. Last year we had one camcorder, the 750, which came with a conversion lens on it. But this year there's going to be an option for people to buy the conversion lens separately for some of those units. So we'll expand the lineup because it lets the home consumer be the director, and they can control the content, because as they're waiting for Hollywood to put out more 3D films on Blu-ray, and they're waiting for more sports or other content in 3D, they can go out, just put on their conversion lens, go out the door and shoot their own footage.
Now, so one more question for you. The last year I'd say that the 3D televisions, they were out there, the technology itself was well received, but there wasn't really enough content to drive the horse. There was only like a handful of Blu-rays. The console makers and the PC makers have only really started to take serious attention to 3D gaming. In the new year, do you think content will be far less a challenge than it was in 2010?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's no question that there will be a whole gamut of titles for 3D Blu-ray that'll be coming. So like a year from now, we'll have a much different conversation, because there'll be a lot more broadcast content that'll be done live, and there'll be a lot more Blu-ray 3D content. When DVD started many years ago, they launched with 50 titles worldwide. That was it. When Blu-rays started, there were only a handful of titles. So this is always the way, it's cutting edge. Everybody realizes that the content will catch up, and we think that it'll catch up quite quickly.
We have Panasonic has established the 3 locations of a 3D solution center all around the world, Japan and Europe, and also in US. So we are working very closely with the video producers and the film studios for the 3D production, so as providing technical support. And then, as I mentioned, that your personal enjoyment with the 3D shooting is also enhancing your 3D experience as well. And also, not to forget, I think 3D technology is not only for the 3D, but also the enhancing the 2D picture quality as well. So the 3D may be the only a part of your viewing experience, but that enhances your 2D picture experience wonderful, with a better picture quality, with contrast and moving picture resolutions. That's changing a whole lot of picture quality in a TV, so people can expect.
Excellent. Well, thank you both for joining us. This is Neil Schneider for MTBS-TV at CES 2011. We'll be back with more. Thanks for watching.